a.m. to 11 a.m. here on the Tan Talk Radio Network and Facebook Live, the home team with Paul Porter. Special guests, prizes, and your phone calls about the Bucks, Lightning, Rays, USF, Sun, FSU, Florida, and more. Talk to you this Saturday at 9 a.m. right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Hey, it's Captain Jeff. Did you enjoy the interview with Ty Wood and the Jets last weekend and the weekend before? I know I certainly did. It was great to learn about the band, their Vegas residency, and the family unit that unites them in music. This weekend, we'll be focusing on Ty Wood, the man who has embraced his life through travel and music. You get a chance to hear what has brought him to this point, what is happening with his partnership with the Jets, and his future projects and endeavors. Join us this Saturday at 11 o'clock on Tan Talk.
Do you have questions after being injured in a car accident or injured because of someone's negligence? Do you feel overwhelmed or uncertain about the next steps after being injured in a crash? The personal injury attorneys at Peronic, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes have been helping their injured clients since 1955 and are now on this radio station to provide guidance to you. Listen to FLA Law each Tuesday from 5 to 6 p.m. Let their decades of experience help you and your family. Offices in Clearwater, non-attorney spokesman.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
It's now time for Connecting Caregivers with author, speaker, caregiver advocate, and talk show host Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for caregivers.
Caregivers around the world today, it's time to lift you up. It's time to celebrate. Good afternoon and welcome to Connecting Caregivers with me, Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregivers with love, laughter, and lessons learned. We have Mr. Ed on the boards today. How you doing, Ed?
Doing just fine. Nice day out today.
Oh, gorgeous day out today. I'm really liking it. My girlfriend is visiting from Canada. She's so happy. So happy. It's been a great week.
It has.
And with me, I have my best friend, my co-host, and my sidekick, Lynn Thornley. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
That's good.
Good. I'm with that. I like the weather. Don't like the allergies, but I'm happy.
We're all good. We're all good. So today I am very excited to say that we have Lance A. Slatton with us as a guest today. Hi, Lance.
Good morning, Linda. Good afternoon. How are you?
Joyful and grateful. So I'm very excited to say that Lance is the keynote speaker at the Connecting Caregivers Conference on May 5th and 6th and 7th. Registration just went live yesterday, and we have over 150 registrants so far. So I'm like, oh, that's all good. That's all good. And I'm so excited that Lance is going to be our keynote speaker. So Lance, can you please tell our listeners a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Well, first and foremost, I was a family caregiver for my father, and that experience changed the entire trajectory of my life and career. And that led us into starting our home care company here in Michigan. And during COVID, all of our outside activities stopped. So we started All Home Care Matters, our podcast. And now we are also running and facilitating All's Authors. And we're here to help lift up family caregivers and provide them with resources.
Yeah, and I'm so excited because I always love All's Authors. Explain to people what All's Authors is.
Yeah, All's Authors is a large community of over 400 independent authors who have all walked the journey of caring for a family member with dementia. We provide these books that have all been vetted and verified through our team and provided to the public. We promote it, but it's also a podcast, and it's also resources and articles to help families as they navigate that dementia journey.
And I'm telling you, some of the authors they have on there are absolutely fabulous. So many have been different times a guest on the show or part of one of the conferences because we just need to share. We just need to share and get that information out there. So what inspired you to take the stewardship of All's Authors?
So it's kind of a two-sided story, Linda. You know, we've always been great supporters of All's Authors. One of the co-founders, there was 3 co-founders, Vicky Capia, Jean Lee, Marianne Shuko. And before we started our podcast, we were already supporting them through our home care company. And as our show kind of grew and we decided, you know, this isn't just a temporary thing we're going to do for a few weeks.
Right.
We reached out to them and asked if we could, you know, welcome them as guests on the show. Marianne joined us and we hit it off really well. And as we continued to grow and expand, we decided to start a board of directors at All Home Care Matters. And Marianne was one of the first people I reached out to see if they'd be interested in joining the board. And she, gratefully said yes, she would love to. And that was about 3-4 years ago. And then we had a board meeting. And after that board meeting, late last year, I think it was in August, Marianne had reached out, asked if her and I could talk, and she needed to share some news about the future of all authors. And just instinctively, I thought it was going to be two things. They're either all retiring and they're just going to, put it down.
Man, you don't want that to happen.
Exactly. And then my other thought was they're going to let me know it's being, transitioned over to someone else. So when we met, she had shared that they were retiring and if we would be interested in taking it over. And I don't even know that she finished the sentence. And I said, absolutely, immediately. And, that was in August of 25 and a long process, a lot of back and forth and things that they had to take care of, things that we had to get in place. And it was announced publicly on January 14th of this year. We just had our first public town hall to introduce my team and myself and kind of our visions for the future of All's Authors. And we have another one coming up on Monday, April 20th at noon, and it's free and open for anyone to attend. And we're just excited about sharing some of the things we have done already and some of the plans we're going to do in the future.
So what's going to stay the same? What's going to change?
Well, we're not reinventing the wheel. What we, have really shared with people and stressed is we're not here to, tear it down and build it back up. There's already a tremendous community, a tremendous foundation.
Right.
And so a lot of things are staying the same. One of the things we had changed was we now have a full, comprehensible, discoverable, searchable library of every single title and every single author on the All's Authors website. That had not existed before, and that has been like a 3+ month undertaking for our team. And so many people have just said this is just fantastic. And, it's really about promoting the authors, promoting these resources for the people that really need them. And we're offering other opportunities for people that, weren't available before. And we also are working on expanding the reach of All's Authors and engaging it with the backing of our platform at All Home Care Matters. And one of the things I really want to emphasize too, Linda, is, we want community buy-in. We want people to be a part of this, to feel like they have a place and to have opportunities, not only for themselves, but for their books and to help promote them and get them out there on a much grander scale than maybe was possible before.
Yeah. Yeah. And storytelling is such a powerful tool. I mean, my book, Good Night and God Bless, about the last 18 months of my mother's life. It's a story. It's a story and it's experience. And till this day, so many years later, people are still saying, thank you. I learned something from there. It wasn't so technical. It was from the heart.
Absolutely. Yes.
And I know that's a lot of the authors that are on there are just like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, one of the things I failed to mention about things staying the same, we're absolutely keeping in place that vetting process, because what we don't want to have happen is having books that aren't, authentic, they aren't, factual, slipping through the cracks, and now those people can say they're an All's author and their book's in the library, and so that vetting process is staying in place. It's a very stringent, and you went through it yourself.
Yeah,
it's not a pay for your application, pay the fee, and you're automatically in. It's just like college. You can apply to any college you want. Doesn't mean you're getting into it.
Exactly.
And that's kind of the same. It's the same mindset with us. We're protecting the integrity of not only the All's Authors name, but also for those people that are going to discover and learn about these books, so that they're not taken advantage of or given false hope or false promises.
Yeah. Well, this is the 10th year for this show, and I get requests from authors all the time. Well, first of all, I'm not doing anything unless I read the book. When my book first came out, I would go for an interview on someone else's show, and I know they only read the back cover. That's not very helpful. But yeah, I think that's really important. But I always knew that anyone that submitted a book to me to maybe be on the show, if they were in All's Authors, I was good to go.
Yeah.
Because they already did that vetting.
Yes. Yeah. And that, and Linda, that reputation is earned, it's not given. And we want to maintain that reputation.
Exactly, because your people trust you. You know, it's just my people trust me. My caregivers trust me. I'm very careful who I align myself with because
Absolutely.
they trust my word and what we're going to do. So, how do you think that all authors can better support caregivers who are looking for guidance and practical resources? Because you know what happens: you go to the doctors, you get the diagnosis, you walk home, you don't have a clue about anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the things we're working on, and again, we're really, I'd say March is when we really took over and we're able to, operate and redecorate and change the paint color, if you will. And so we're working to get supporters and volunteers that want to be a part of All's Authors and, help to share these resources with others. We're working on developing a visiting library network where our authors who are all over the world, not just the United States,
right,
but especially in the United States is what we're working on for the library network, where they can go in, they can start a support group with their local community at their library, do a discussion on their book, because everybody's book, like your book and my book, are vastly different.
Right.
My book is all about caregiver support and a caregiver guide. So my topic is going to be different. And so,
right.
But there's not a single right or wrong topic. It's what's going to speak to that family and their unique situation to themselves and their loved ones.
Yeah, and where they are on the journey.
Exactly.
Did they just started? They've been doing this for a while. The other day I spoke to someone and she said there weren't any support groups in her area. And I said, in my life, anytime I can't find something, I just make it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I go start your own support group. I can guide you. It's not rocket science. I hate to say it, but it's just listening. It's caring.
Yeah.
It's sharing resources.
Yes. And I think you're a great prototype of how to make that happen and for, kind of laying the foundation for others that want to make something when it wasn't there. One of my favorite quotes in college that I used for inspiration was from Bobby Kennedy, where he said, some men look at things the way they are and say, why? I dream of things that aren't and say, why not?
Exactly. Yeah. It's very interesting. But anyone can start a support group. Anybody can get together with some other caregivers. And if anybody needs any hints, they can always contact me and I would be more than willing to help you. Because the best thing is just knowing that you're not alone. Yeah, knowing that you're not alone, that someone else is going through the same thing as you're going through. Someone else can laugh at what you laugh at and cry at what you cry at.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's so important. So, what are your goals for the future with it, though? I mean, where do you see this going down the line?
I see a lot of things. We don't want to put a ceiling or a final destination because it's really endless, the opportunities that we want to be able to offer these authors. We had somebody reach out to us, Linda, from Italy last week, and she is a caregiver and a physical therapist, and she has written a tremendous book, but it's all in Italian. And she doesn't really speak English and she can't use English grammar.
Right.
And so she asked if we would review her book and then give her feedback and help her with the English part. Now, I don't speak, read, or write Italian either, but, there's tools, the AI platforms and different things that can help to translate that. And so we're working with her because we want to help get her story out, because that story might be the story that somebody needs, in the future. And then, like I said, the library network, we're working with that. And we're also talking to different publishers about some type of partnership, because I'm not for sure, who your book was published through, but like with my book, it's not a very economical process just to get your book published.
Right.
You're not and you probably won't recoup that money, or if you do, it's going to be long into the future.
Exactly.
So we want to find an affordable way to help these authors who want to get that story out there, want to share that message.
I love that.
And yeah. So we have a lot of excitement. We just announced at our first town hall, some people you are probably very familiar with, the new board of directors at All's Authors. So obviously myself, and then Lori LeBay.
Yeah, I love Lori.
Yeah, Denise Brown.
Yeah.
And then Andrew Carissa, who has the Dementia Collective, and he has Dementia Community in Canada. And then another dear friend of ours, Bettina Morrow, who is in charge of adult protective services for the state of Colorado. And she has a master's degree in dementia. So, we feel like we've really identified and assembled a great team who all have strengths and different ways of bringing those unique strengths together to really benefit this community, but subsequently benefit these families who are facing this dementia journey.
Yeah. Well, they have different strengths. They have different personalities. Somebody clicks with one person, something with another, and when I was talking a little bit earlier about the support groups, with my support groups, many times people are in there, could be 5 years. I build a relationship with those people and their loved one passes away, and then they come back to the support group, but it's a caregiver support group, not a grief support group, but they want to come back to help. So what I've done is I've started a mentor program. So let's say your loved one passed away from Parkinson's and a new person comes in the group and their loved one has Parkinson's. She can mentor you in between support groups and whatever, because I'm not a Parkinson's expert. I'm a caregiving expert.
Yeah.
And this way it gives the woman whose person has passed away a new sense of purpose, because you're a 24/7 caregiver. And now what am I?
Yeah.
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 So I think that's
a great idea.
I think we need to put that more into effect, because those caregivers have a ton of information and experiences that still need to be shared. I
couldn't agree more. I kind of make a comparison, Linda, to caregivers at the caregiver support groups. They're going to learn a whole lot more from somebody that's actually gone through it and has lived it and has walked it over somebody who has just studied it.
Yeah.
If I need marriage counseling, I'm going to go to somebody that's been married versus somebody who's not.
Yeah.
It's kind of a very similar situation.
Yeah. So what if somebody's listening today and they're an author and they want to get involved? What do they do?
Well, we would love to help. They're welcome to visit allsauthors.com. We have a contact form there. Our email is allsauthors@gmail.com. They can also send a direct email. They're welcome to reach out to me on any of the social medias or through All Home Care Matters. But we want them to have a voice. One of the biggest positives we've received from all these people was these town halls that we rolled out. We want to do that regularly because we want to hear from them.
Right.
They're the ones who are, living it now or have lived it. And I have my own caregiving story, of course, but everybody's story is different and unique. And we want to help support them however that is and however we're able.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just so fabulous. The more we can work together, and I am so excited to be in this arena where we have professionals that want to make a difference, that will continue, that will find answers for you. It's like I always say, if somebody has a question, email me. If I don't have the answer, I will find the answer for you.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Because we don't want to leave anybody flat, as we used to say when you were a kid. Don't leave me flat. So,
I'm a firm believer we're stronger together. United is a lot better than, separated.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Well, it's funny. Sometimes when I speak in other states, people will say to me, don't talk to that person or don't talk to this person. I tell them, you know what? There's plenty of juice in the orange for all of us. Don't worry about it. It's all going to be good. So once again, I'm so excited that you're going to be our keynote speaker at the conference, which starts on May 5th. Anybody who's interested can go to connectingcaregiversconference.com. It's free to caregivers. Now, I don't expect anyone to sit there for 3 full days and watch everything because I'm running it and I can barely do it. But anyone who registers within 30 days will receive all the videos of the conference for free to watch whenever they want to watch. And I think that's one of the strongest parts of the entire thing, because they can, it's on their schedule to watch when they want to watch, to share with whoever they want to share with. So I'm excited about that.
We're looking forward to it, Linda. I think it's going to be a great conference again this year.
Number 10. Oh my goodness. So Lance, what's the last thing you want our caregivers to hear from you today?
That they're not alone. There's wonderful support out there like yourself, like with us and others that are doing this tremendous work. And, if somebody offers help, don't be afraid to accept it. And if you need help, don't be afraid to ask for it.
Yeah, because that means you're strong, not weak.
Yes.
Too many people think if they ask for help, they're weak. No, you're strong if you ask for help. And people do want to
Yep.
help you. People do want to
Yes,
help
they-
you. Thank you
they
so
do.
much, my friend. I will see you on May 5th, if not before.
All right. Well, Linda, I just want to say I hope you have a delicious day.
You too. Thank you.
Have a great day, everybody.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right.
Oh, so we're back here. So I want to say a shout out to our newest listeners because I didn't do it at the beginning of the show when I normally do because Lance was on the line and I know his time is valuable. So I want to say a shout out to our newest listeners. We have Janie in Clearwater, we have Ginger in Largo, and we have Nikki in Dunedin.
Welcome, ladies.
And like I say, there's always plenty of room around the Connecting Caregivers table for more listeners, whether you listen when we're live on the radio or on YouTube or Facebook or wherever they'll take us. We're just glad to be here with you. But right now, we're going to hear from our wonderful sponsors because you know the deal. If you don't hear from them, you don't hear from me. So don't go away. We'll be right back on Connecting Caregivers Radio.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Arden Courts is not just a place to live. It's a place to call home. Residential living combined with quality caregiving. This is the philosophy behind Arden Courts. Communities created exclusively for individuals with Alzheimer's disease and related dementia who would benefit from a safe and structured environment. For additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides, call 888-478-2410 to locate a community nearest you. Inquire about our educational seminars, resource library, or support groups, or simply feel free to ask questions you may have about Alzheimer's and related dementias. At Arden Courts, we know, we understand, and we can help because memory care is all we do. Remember, call 888-478-2410 for additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides.
Are you getting older, or are you taking care of somebody who is? You know, getting older creates new problems you probably never imagined. One of the big ones is, how do you pay for care? Care in your home, care in an assisted living facility, or care in a nursing home. Did you know that nursing home care in our community can cost up to $12,000 per month? For the last 33 years, our office has helped families access benefits, including Medicaid, VA, and PACE, to help pay for the cost of long-term care. Regardless of what your assets are or what your income is, you can qualify for these benefits. Proper planning and guidance are absolutely necessary to avoid being wiped out. Let us help. If you are in care or heading in that direction, we can help solve that problem. Take action now to obtain benefits to pay for the cost of care. Here are the 4 things that you need to do. 1, get a new power of attorney. Your old one probably isn't good enough. Get a healthcare surrogate and a living will. 3, get an estate plan that will not disqualify you from benefits. And 4, get a plan to qualify for Medicaid, PACE, or VA benefits to pay for the long-term care costs. Call us today for a free consultation, 727-539-0181, or go to flmedicaid.com and download our free book on Medicaid and planning for long-term care. I'm Sean Scott. I'm here to help.
Guaranteed to make you laugh through your tears, Linda Burhan's book, Good Night and God Bless, is filled with humor and heartfelt inspiration to aid anyone facing the challenge of caring for a loved one at the end of life. Her story offers hope for human strength and understanding of weaknesses during a difficult time. Life doesn't normally prepare us to become a loved one's caregiver. When it happens, it's usually sudden. A diagnosis of an illness, age-related frailty, dementia, and life suddenly is anything but normal. And because we don't even know what we don't know, where do we turn to for help or guidance? In Connecting Caregivers, Answers to the Questions You Didn't Know You Needed to Ask, Linda offers information, education, and inspiration from her own experience and from experts whose advice, practical tools, and personal stories will empower and guide you. Make sure to add these inspiring books to your collection today. Available on Amazon.com.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
And we are back. And so we have my friend Heather Roush with us today from Southern Comfort Home Care, who is also part of the conference coming up.
Yes, I was just telling these ladies, they usually are here early. Their car is here, and that's my indication to come in And they tricked me today.
No car.
No car.
We lost it. We walked miles in the snow to get here.
I was like, these girls are committed to getting their steps in.
Yeah.
So I was so glad, first of all, yesterday that I came to meet the staff at your office.
Yeah.
Because like I say, I watch who I align myself with, and I know you, but I didn't know the whole rest of the team.
Yeah.
And to go there and meet the rest of the team is good for me and it's good for them.
Absolutely.
Because the more we know about each other, the more stuff we can share. It's just absolutely wonderful. So talking about conferences, you went to one recently.
I did. I was in Fort Lauderdale for a conference this past weekend that was all about growing your business, growing your sales and marketing and approach. I'm not a marketing person by nature, but I'm a talker, which I think makes you a marketing person.
Yeah.
I'm like Linda, where I think the more people you can help, the better. So if I can help you who can help someone else, that's the benefit of growing your sales and marketing, quote unquote. So we spent 3 days in Fort Lauderdale.
3 days.
Right. My team was laughing at me because usually my day-to-day, no day is the same.
Right.
I'm, going here and visiting with the family or coming to be on the radio show.
Right.
Lots of variety. And this was 3 days of 9 to 5 with I felt like I was in school. Yes.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. And I felt like I was drinking from a fire hydrant. I'm the nerd who wants to take notes and fill out the whole booklet. And I'm a completionist in that way.
Wow.
But came back and just on Tuesday, when I was back in front of my team, there was this energy that I had to bring what I'd learned from the conference and have it affect other people in a positive way.
Yeah.
There's no way I can take all 3 days of that and give it to them, but trying to figure out
a little bit here, a little bit there.
Yeah. What are those couple things that we can infuse in what we're doing? So,
and they're open to that because
they are,
people, we take care of our loved ones. We love them so much. And we're going to not let a stranger in our house.
Yep.
And it can, on that first walk in the door, can make a difference.
Yep.
If you're accepted, if you're not accepted. And the last thing I want in the future, if I ever need some help, is having somebody walk in like they're a deadhead or something.
Yeah.
I want somebody that comes in that's alive and makes me feel excited.
Yep, absolutely. The one of the huge takeaways I had was about asking good questions. And I feel like that's not a sales and marketing thing. I want that to be part of my life of, if I ask a dumb question, I'm going to get a dumb answer. There are no dumb questions, but there are dumb ways to ask the question. If I say, do you need help? No, I'm good.
Exactly.
That's different than how can I help you?
Yes, exactly.
What can I do? What can I take off your
wouldn't
list?
Wouldn't it be nice if someone could do your grocery shopping?
Right. You get a much different answer.
Yeah.
So just thinking how that applies for all of us.
Right.
It's not about, making a sale or converting a lead. Sure, people in business might say that. But for me, it was about how can I be a better, how can my whole team be a better resource?
Because when you're a better resource, your business is going to grow.
Exactly.
Easy.
Yep.
Easy.
So,
and people remember that.
Yeah.
And people will say, oh, I have this great caregiver from Southern Comfort. You should call them.
Yep.
Because it makes a difference. Because, and one rotten apple.
Yeah.
So do you have how do you interview and everything for your people? Tell me about that.
Yeah. So we have a gal that you met the other day, Tiara, who is our director of onboarding and HR. She's a CNA herself. So she's been.
So she knows it.
She knows it. She knows it like the back of her hand. She's done it in the home environment. She's worked in facilities and rehabs. So she knows all of the different tricks, if you will. So she does an application for our caregivers first, where we're just looking for the basic experience. Do you have some sort of experience with a caregiver? But there are family caregivers out there who they cared for their husband.
Right.
They cared for their mother.
Right.
Maybe they're not professionally trained as a CNA, but we can get them CPR certified.
Right.
Then she can take that baseline of the heart to care and help them. Like you were sharing about the people in your support group who can mentor. If you cared for your loved one with Parkinson's.
Yeah.
Now you can mentor someone. I think the same thing. If you cared for your mother with dementia,
you know the story.
Maybe it's a good thing for you to do a couple of visits with one of our clients.
Well, I find it very interesting that it seems to me that the best caregivers are faith-based.
Yeah. Yeah. Oftentimes.
Because they believe we can make a difference.
Mhm.
They believe that there's still good things happening.
Yes.
Because if you get that wrong personality and that Debbie Downer,
Mhm.
she could actually affect the client to have a decline.
Absolutely.
And we don't want to do that.
No, especially not when you're employing a one-on-one caregiver.
So how do you talk to people when you go into the house and
Mhm.
and they think they need help, but they don't think they need help, or
Yep.
they just don't think they need help?
Yeah, it goes back to asking good questions. I think we start with trying to develop trust just as a baseline. Usually, if we're talking to a family, we've gotten a referral from someone like yourself who's got relationship with these people. I want to ask questions about what are the things that are going really well? What are the things that are really hard right now?
Yeah.
Where are you at in the process? And then if you trust me, maybe we send out a caregiver who's a Debbie Downer and a bad match. But if you trusted me, you trusted my nurse, Melanie, who came out and met with you.
Yeah.
You trusted our office staff member that you got to talk to.
Right.
You trusted all of these people. It kind of balances out the teeter-totter of like, all right, you've got 5 people in the bucket of trust.
Yeah.
1 person who was a bad apple. We've got 349 people to try.
Right.
Caregivers.
Well, tell that story about the one caregiver that was so fabulous.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So we had a gentleman whose wife had recently had a hip replacement surgery, was recovering. We were in to help her in that process. The caregiver got a plan of care report beforehand saying what they were supposed to do when they were in the house. That's what all of our care staff receives. So this caregiver went out, performed her shift, left. The husband called and said, Heather, she was amazing. I loved this caregiver. She did everything that she was supposed to do. She did the laundry. She did the dishes. She cooked a great meal. She helped my wife take a shower. Please don't ever send her back.
And you're like, what?
Clean out my ears. Like, what? Did I hear that right? And he said she just wouldn't shut up.
She
talked too much.
Oh, okay.
And he said, my wife has a ton of anxiety right now. She's looking for just a lot of rest, a lot of quiet. She had grown up in a very small family, wasn't used to hosting a bunch of people.
Right.
So I said, okay, that same day we were starting care on a woman who came from a good Irish Catholic family. I think she had 7 or 8 siblings. Not
send the noisy one.
Send the noisy one. It's like, this is a great fit for her.
Yeah.
She was missing this new client's daughter had flown back home. No family was around. She's in this big house alone. She loved that caregiver because it just felt like home to her.
And the thing I want you to know, any home care company that you're hiring, if you're not happy, let them know.
Yes.
Don't swallow it and say, but she's a nice girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want
but
to
if
hurt
she's making you
anyone's
crazy,
yeah.
She'll be a nice girl for somebody else. That's okay.
Absolutely. Tell us when you've got good things to say about her still. Because you might swallow it.
And then you hate her.
Get to the point that you hate her because she just won't shut up.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, tell us in advance. Hey, it's not working because she's really, really talkative. If we can coach her and say, hey, you're great in all these other ways.
Yeah. Yeah. And some people just talk a lot. We know about that.
Listen, I've come by that honest.
So another thing I want to talk to you about is when should people start looking for help? Because my feeling is they don't start looking for help until the person's in rehab or something, or in the hospital or something.
Mm-hmm.
What can we do ahead of time to prepare?
Yeah. I think of it like preparing for college when your kids are in elementary school. You don't wait until the day before their high school graduation to say, all right, let's start thinking about how we're going to pay for this and thinking about what the options are available. Maybe you're not a right fit for college. Maybe you should go into a trade program, or you're the type of kid who needs a year off. So I think that it's always good to have those conversations at the very least. Explore your options because
early.
But I think I would prefer, so I'm going to know when I get to the age that I'm going to need help, whatever. Don't even look at me. But I would like to meet with the company ahead of time while I'm still healthy.
Yes.
While I still can take care of myself. So I want to know about them and feel comfortable about them.
Absolutely.
I have all my paperwork done.
Yep.
And then if something happens, bango.
Absolutely.
We're good to go.
Yep.
Do people do that?
Sometimes people do that. We have a couple right now that we're providing care for. It started with just providing care for the husband who has dementia. His wife has been previously his caregiver. She had a cancer diagnosis recently. So she's been going to receive treatment for herself. And she said, on those days that I'm getting treatment, I'm just not able to care for him too.
Right.
So that's great. It's not great, but it's great that
you
she
realize
knows that. Yeah.
Yes.
So we were able to get really minimal hours set up for care. I hate that this has happened, but she went into the hospital recently. Somebody needs to be with him 24/7.
Yeah.
His kids have small kids. They can't drop what they're doing, but they had that relationship established with us where we weren't building the house from nothing at the point that she went into the hospital.
Right.
They called us and said, hey, we need to increase our care for the time being.
Yeah.
And it was an easy edit. They already knew us. They had their questions answered. We just had to make a couple of little administrative tweaks and we're good.
And I'll tell you, I hear the story all the time. My sisters, my whoever it is, they got families, they got kids, they live in another state, they got a life too. But they say they want to help. Tell them to send money. Because if they send money, if they send money, you can pay for help.
No,
Absolutely.
it's true. But it just makes me laugh. I'll just send money.
Yeah, it's true. But
Stay where you are.
Yeah, stay where you are. Just send money.
Just send money.
But really, I would feel relieved if my loved one needed help in another state and I could help out that way.
Absolutely. I think about our services. So if you're doing the bare minimum with us, we ask you to do 6 hours in the week. We can divide that up into 2-hour shifts. So it's usually about $300 a week that you could get care set up. If you think about a plane ticket today,
right?
Even just the plane ticket
Hotel.
to get down here, is going to be that. Taking PTO from your job or figuring out the logistics of what the rest of your family's going to do.
You know what I like about it too? I like that. So let's say I live out of town and you're taking care of my mom. You have eyes on my mom.
Yes.
Because when I call my mom, she goes, I'm great. Yep. She doesn't tell you that, her whole leg is bruised. She doesn't tell you that dad
didn't a cracked rib.
Poo in 3 days. Or whatever it is. I'm fine. I'm just fine. But then you have those eyes on them and be able to say to the family. It's the same thing with my granddaughter. They have the cleaning company. They see people and they're like, oh, I needed to let her daughter know that she needs a little help with this. And that can be such a good relief for those people that are at a state.
Absolutely. I think it minimizes, there's so many ways to feel anxiety about what's going on and feel like you just have to get control. I don't think it's that. I think it's building a team.
Yeah.
Every time I talk to you, Linda, I think about the fact that there's not a shortage of resources, especially in Pinellas County.
Yeah.
There's so many options. It's just a matter of how to navigate them.
We were chatting the other day. We were saying maybe you start with adult daycare.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not home care. Maybe it's just an adult daycare where your loved one goes for a couple of hours and spends some time because we know, I'm sorry to say, it's not going to get better.
No.
It's not going to get better. So we need to make plans about this and how we're going to, I told you the story about Mama Rose and, first it was the adult daycare place. I had to say I worked there. And then, she didn't, but I'll tell you too, many times a person will be cranking about it. I don't want anybody coming in. I don't want anybody in my space or anything. But if they get the right fit, they're good to go. They depend on that person.
Absolutely.
And they build a relationship with that person.
Yep. I think too, we'll get people who are anxious about the cost.
I think that's the big deal.
And it is. And I don't ever want to diminish the fact that it does cost money and money doesn't grow. My money tree is bare.
Yeah.
So it's not producing, but everything costs something. Time, energy, effort, peace of mind, money. So what's the thing that's worth the cost to you?
Yeah.
And figure out how to make it happen. If your plan A doesn't work, what's your plan B? What's your plan C? Are you on plan J?
Yeah.
You don't know where you're going.
Well, I tell you, I had met this one couple. I forgot all about this. This was like a year or so ago. And at Christmas time, all the brothers and the sisters just chipped in And they called a healthcare company, said, I want you to meet with our parents. They don't need help right now, but here's like $1,000 to start with.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the Christmas gift to the parents. And they were a little snooty about it in the beginning. But then one day they really needed it.
Mm-hmm.
And they called up and everything was already set.
Yep.
And they didn't have to worry. And their kids didn't have to worry, because I don't want to be living in Pennsylvania and mom's going to the hospital and I don't know what the heck's going on.
Right.
You know, and who I'm going to talk to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you do things like, explain all the different things you guys do? You're not just coming in the house and sitting there and watching TV.
No, we never want that unless that is exactly what you want. So we make it customized to every single client and family. We can do everything from hands-on personal care to household care. We want to add value when we're there. So help take a shower, help clasp your necklace, brush your teeth, cook. Yep. Yeah. Not going to say that we've got beat Bobby Flay winners.
And they do better than what I make.
But, you know, if you know that your mom is doing a lot of frozen dinners and you're concerned about her sodium content, let us come out, cook a couple days a week.
Yeah.
I say, too, you don't have to be an invalid to need home care. You can just say, it's taking a lot of energy to change my bed linens and meal
hard
prep and take my trash out.
It is. It's hard.
It does. It gets to be hard.
It does.
And like when you said those bed linens, and then I hate to say it, they don't get changed then.
Right.
Because it is so difficult. Right. I have a hard time myself. It's like, oh, I got to change those sheets. It's
I know. And mine's a king size.
Yeah.
And
you're getting
bars at the end that you got to get underneath.
Yep. And then, I mean, this isn't a critique at all it's a critique on the aging process, no one personally, but your skin gets thinner as you age.
Yep.
It does.
So if you're shoving
then you're getting
between a bar,
getting
a cut, and it just
don't even need to get a cut. You just bang it and there's this big red thing there.
Yeah.
Not on me, of course.
No. Porcelain dolls in here.
No, but my sister's on a medication and oh my God, anything she touches, she's
gonna get bruised.
Yep.
Yeah. It is what it is. That's why I wear long sleeves.
It is.
So I like Arnicare. It's the best thing
that is really good. That is really good. So what are you going to be talking about at the conference?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about building that team of support.
Good.
And how to know when is a right time to begin that process of building a team.
Yeah.
I brought up that conference I went to in Fort Lauderdale just because as I think about your conference that's coming up, I know you say, you know, nobody needs to plan to park in front of their computer for 3 days, but there are so many great speakers and great blocks of content that make it a goal when you've registered to then say, I'm going to make an hour every other day for the next few weeks.
This is the one I really want to listen to.
Yep.
Yeah, because we have elder care attorney Sean Scott.
Mm-hmm.
We have Accent Care Hospice. We have Gulfside Hospice.
Mm-hmm.
We have Voices of Hope for Aphasia.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are more people in Pinellas County that have aphasia than Parkinson's.
Yep.
And we don't even know about that. But I got to tell you, the other night, Sean and I hosted a support group for Voices of Hope for Aphasia. And this guy came in and was talking to us about, I have to do more research on it. But his wife is in a clinical study on how AI can help aphasia. So what they're doing is they're interviewing her with the voice she has. They're going back from videos from her from a couple of years ago when she spoke clearly. So if they can AI complete sentences in her own voice, it'll be easier for her to maybe connect those words back. Oh my goodness.
That's amazing.
So his wife is in this clinical study. I want to find out more about, because that's the first thing about AI that really made me happy.
Yeah.
Because I hate so much of AI. I mean, it's great if you got to send a mail and you don't want to send it and everything, but the photos and
it's too much.
It's way too much.
But I think
that's age showing.
Yeah. But how cool would that be if they could find a way just to connect that so that they could speak again? Because, you know, I met this guy recently who had aphasia. He had a business card and on it says, my name is Ralph. I'm not drunk and I'm not stupid. Because everybody thinks because he has aphasia that he's drunk or stupid. How terrible. Because then they stop talking altogether.
Yeah.
And they don't talk at all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just such a believer in trying to get curious about what's going on. When you meet someone, what's your story? You know, before I judge you or before I think you're drunk and stupid, What's going on?
Well, that's why we talked at your office the other day too about Jesse Brown and the QR code. Jesse will have a commercial during the conference, and Jesse Brown, the name of the company is.
Good name.
Yeah, it is a good name. I can't think of it right now. But what she did is she made a QR code about her dad, about his life. Now, if we had these in all our caregivers' homes, just to start that conversation, you'd know something to talk to them about.
And it's things that I'm not a pro technology on every front. AI can make me nervous at different times. And
Zoom. I was just trying to check the attendees, and I was afraid I was going to erase it or something.
Right. But thinking about without technology, she wouldn't have the capability of creating that QR code that tells the story about what her dad, what he's done in his life, sets the caregivers. Yeah. Right. When her dad moved into a community.
Yeah. The name of the company is Catalyst for Connections. So you can make a QR code for your loved one. So for instance, when her dad was still verbal, she said, chocolate ice cream. He said, no. Strawberry. Yes. So she went through the things that he likes to eat. And she said at the end of it, if my dad's ever really agitated, just give him a hot dog with mustard and relish on it. Well, how easy it is to do that, to know that could help.
Right.
And if her dad is going to be watching TV, just put on sports.
Right.
He loves sports. And because so many times they just put somebody in front of a TV, they're watching something they don't even like, and they're not even watching TV, they're sleeping.
Right.
They're just sleeping. That doesn't do anything good for anybody. And because then they're not sleeping at night.
No. And then you're just existing. You're not living.
Yeah. Well, right now it's time to hear from our wonderful partners, so don't go back. We'll be right back on Connecting Caregivers Radio.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
When someone you love needs a little extra help at home, comfort and trust matter more than anything. At Southern Comfort Home Care, we believe care should feel like family. Proudly serving Pinellas Park and surrounding communities, our compassionate caregivers provide personalized in-home support so your loved ones can remain safe, independent, and comfortable in the place they know best, home. From companionship and meal preparation to personal care and daily assistance, Southern Comfort Home Care is here to ease the stress for families and bring peace of mind when it matters most. Our caregivers are carefully selected, professionally trained, and dedicated to treating every client with dignity, respect, and kindness, because that's how families should be cared for. If you're looking for dependable, heartfelt home care you can trust, choose Southern Comfort Home Care. Call us today for your free assessment at 727-977-2273 or visit our website at www.southerncomforthc.com. Southern Comfort Home Care, where compassionate care feels like home.
Choosing the right chiropractor is an important choice to make. Located in Seminole, the Alexander Spine Center team is trained on the latest chiropractic treatments and technologies. At Alexander Spine Center, you'll find chiropractic and physical therapy care that is safe, effective, and a natural approach to pain and other health-related issues. Chiropractic unlocks your body's potential and natural healing process to ensure your life is a healthy life. We treat clients from the womb to the tomb. Call 727-397-3000 for a free consultation today, or visit our website at www.alexanderspinecenter.com.
They take good care of me twice a week, so check them out.
Arden Courts is not just a place to live. It's a place to call home. Residential living combined with quality caregiving. This is the philosophy behind Arden Courts. Communities created exclusively for individuals with Alzheimer's disease and related dementia who would benefit from a safe and structured environment. For additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides, call 888-478-2410 to locate a community nearest you. Inquire about our educational seminars, resource library, or support groups, or simply feel free to ask questions you may have about Alzheimer's and related dementias. At Arden Courts, we know, we understand, and we can help because memory care is all we do. Remember, call 888-478-2410 for additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides.
Caregiving is an act of love, but it can be exhausting. Long days, sleepless nights, constant worry about the one you care for and about yourself. That's where Super Patch can help. Super Patch is a simple, drug-free wearable designed to support the body naturally. Caregivers are using it to feel more balanced, more energized, and more focused so they can show up fully for the people that need them most. And for loved ones, well, many report better stability, calmer days, improved sleep, and greater sense of independence. No drugs, no side effects, just a patch working with the body. Because when caregivers feel stronger and supported, everyone benefits. Super Patch, helping caregivers care better and helping loved ones live better. To learn more, go to www.sticktoit.info. That's www.sticktoit.info.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Yep, love my super patches. There'll be a whole part in the conference about that too, where you can really understand the science behind it and how it can help your loved one drug-free. So I think that's a really big deal. There'll be an annual shredding event at HKH Elder Care on April 24th from 11:30 to 2:30 in St. Pete. If you're interested, I'll put the information in the show. Second Friday of every month, I do my support group at Arden Court Seminole at 10 o'clock. The good thing is you can bring your loved one with you and they will be cared for in another room and entertained in another room while you come to the support group. Because many times it's very hard to come to a support group if you can't find someone to take care of your loved one. It also gives your loved one an exposure to a community and what it could be like. There was one woman years ago used to bring her husband every month. And then when it was time, her husband moved in and it was not stressful or anything. So that was really good. So think about that. Also, Sages is coming right along. Tomorrow is the first show at the Murray Theater on McMullen Booth Road in Clearwater. The show is Dealmaker, and it's about taking the keys away. And we know what I don't know, and I'm like, that's gonna be a tough one for me.
Not for me. I hand them right over.
Yeah, you're not a driver though.
No.
But yeah, that's a tough one. I'm gonna fight that one. And then also April 26th at the St. Pete City Theater. I recently went to the theater Off Central Players. And they have a new show coming out in September, which has a senior theme. And Jokes to Josie Jones is going to open the shows. So I will talk to you ahead of time and let you know about that. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I appreciate you guys. Tune in next week for another wonderful show. Register for the conference, connectingcaregiversconference.com. Remember, God loves you and have a delicious day.